DiffEX is an easy UI for animations. Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today I want to show you DiffEX. It's using AnimateDiff, but with a nice UI that makes everything a little bit easier to understand. It can be a bit of a pain to set it up, so I want to guide you through the process and make it as easy as possible for you. Let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to go to Diffusion Ai. There we have the DiffEX file. This is linked below the video, and here you have the download of that file. And also on the DiffEX page on Diffusion Ai, when you scroll down here, you will see there's a Discord here. You should absolutely join that. The developer of this UI is on there. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you want to go to the Discord and ask it there. After you've downloaded everything, you're going to extract everything from that file and then put it into your documents folder. After you've done that, in here you will see there's an AnimateDiff installer.bat file. You want to copy that over into your documents folder again. And then inside of the documents folder, you're going to double click on the AnimateDiff installer.bat and run that file. This is going to create for you the folder AnimateDiff CLI prompt travel. Now in there you'll find a list of different folders and files, and this is where the actual AI is running. So one of the most important parts here is the data folder. Double click on that. In there you will find the models folder. Very important. Double click on that too. And in there you're going to find a model that's called SD. This is for your checkpoints. Now at the moment there isn't really a way to link it to Automatic 1111, so you have to copy over a model you want to use. However, I suggest to you that you start with the Mistune Anime model because that renders good and easy with AnimateDiff to give you good results. I will link that model also below the video. Then you also need to create a VAE folder in here, and when you have that, you want to put the VAE you want to use in this folder. Another thing you need for that is the motion module. Double click on that, and in here you can see I have a MMSD V15 version 2 checkpoint. This is the one you should use. You can download it from Hugging Face. I will also link that below the video. And here you have the download button that you're going to use to download this file into the folder I just showed you. After you've done this, you also need FFmpeg. So for that, you're going to go to the page that I've linked here. You're going to download this file here, FFmpeg git full 7 set to your drive. You're going to extract that file and then put it into your C drive root. So here you can see I'm just on C, and there is my folder with everything in there. After you've done this, you also need to add this to your paths in Windows. So for that, you want to follow this guide here. I will link it below the video where it shows you where you go to the system variables and then you add this source for your paths. After this is done, we are finally getting back to the DiffEX folder. Here we have the DiffEX exe file. Now to run this and have it finish the install, what you need to do is to right click and then select Run as Administrator. This is going to download several additional files for you inside of your command window. After this is done, you're presented with this UI. So here you can set a name for your project, you can select the model you want to use, you can select here the motion module you want to use, and also the VAE. Now for the sampler, it's suggested to use KDPM++SDE, so from this list, select that sampler. The settings down here you can leave as they are, you can experiment with them later. Down here you also have the option to turn on the high-res fix or LCM. LCM is going to render a lot faster, but you're gonna get less quality out of your image. Now on the top left you have these 3 lines. You want to click on that and this is giving you the other sections. Now in the stylized area there is one very nice function here. This is URL. So here you can put a YouTube link and then you can download it from that link directly into your folder. Now the stylized function can also process your video. You can also set here the FPS you want to use. This is then also going to be the amount of frames that are going to be extracted from the video, and it will also create a VD14 clip text so that you have keywords, basically creating a prompt for you for each individual frame. This can be very beneficial for the output, but this is right now an experimental function. The next section here is the prompt, and there you can set up your prompt you want to use. I would suggest, as always, that you go to the Diffusion Ai page of the model you're using and check out the prompts that are used for that. You can set up your negative prompt here. Now here you have different prompts for different frames if you want to, so you can actually have a transition of different styles or any other thing inside of your video. For example, you can morph over time a young woman into an old woman, or a medieval city into a modern city. Stuff like that can be done over time. It's pretty interesting. On the right side here, you also have an IPAdapter and different things here that you can enable for the models you want to use. This, of course, might require that you have to download the IPAdapter models first. You also have here regions that you can use. You have Controlnet. Now here in the Controlnet, if you don't use the stylized option, you can enable here the Controlnet, for example, IP2P. You enable that. In this case, we don't use a preprocessor. You want to add the video here. Now take into consideration that adding the video is only for this specific Controlnet. So if you use another Controlnet on top of that, for example, here I'm using OpenPose, you have to add the video again, and then you enable this here and also enable, in this case, the preprocessor, so that the image is converted into an OpenPose. If you're interested in the creator, you can see here in the video, I will link that short under my video also. Next, you have here additional settings for the LoRa that you can use for advanced settings, and then you have execute. Now, execute is the important part for us, and you can see here I have rendered part of that video with the prompts, different style here with a kimono, with cherry blossoms, things like that. Now here you can define the width and the height of the output video. At the moment there is no scale by option, so you basically have to do a little bit of math here to figure out what is the correct resolution you want to have here. In my case, because I'm downscaling this from the video input, it would be 768 by 440. You might use that for other shorts too, just to have a smaller format and the rendering is going faster for you. I'm setting my FPS here to 8 FPS and the length, because I just want to test this a little bit, to 32 frames, which of course is not the complete video, it's just parts of the video. As you can see here, it's just a short loop, but for testing and playing around with it, that is more than enough. Now, it's important to notice here that down here you have a context, and the context is 16, that's the minimum, so you can't go below 16 for the length. This has to be minimum of 16 length. And then when you have everything set up, you click here on Build and Run. Now you can watch the full process here in the command window running through. It might take quite some while because of course for video you have to render a lot of different images and then they have to be combined afterwards. And as you can see here, you can get some pretty amazing results with an easy to understand UI that is specifically made for AnimateDiff. Inside of the DiffEX folder, there's a README PDF, and this gives you a lot more information about the install process and about the different sections and how to use them. So please have a look at that so you have a better understanding on how to use everything. Up here on the top, it suggests you have the Python version 3.10.11. I don't have that version. I think I have 3.10.9, but it still works pretty well with that. Let me know in the comments what you think about this UI. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and see you soon. Bye. Oh, you're still here. So this is the end screen. There's other stuff you can watch like this or that. It's really cool. And yeah, I hope I see you soon. Leave a like if you haven't yet. And well, yeah.